Hello, I'm Anne-Marie, and today I'm joined by Martine Brisson. Her background is she's a doula, or she has been worked as a doula, breastfeeding coach, worked on a crisis helpline. She trained in a variety of modalities, and she loves traveling and exploring and helping people see that they are not broken. So thanks for joining me, Martine.
Thank you.
Sorry for
that's
calling you
just
on.
part of the stuff I've done in my life. I keep doing different things. Well, thank you for inviting me.
That's okay. Before I ask you the main question, what's a doula? Because I did Google it when I knew you were coming on, because I didn't know myself. So people are watching this. Can you explain what a doula is?
Well, that's what something that I did for fun. I was a dietitian for the armed forces. And then I moved around. And when I was living in British Columbia, because of the Navy there was lots of people, the women giving birth, and the husband was away, at sea. And the family, Canada is a big country. We have 6 time zones. So maybe somebody from the family might not be able to fly there to help her. So a doula is a birth coach in a sense. So we stay with the woman. The birth.
So the breastfeeding coach, was that tied in with that as well, or was that something separate you did?
Well, after my youngest was born, getting up at 2:00 in the morning to help give birth was not part of the plan. And my youngest was a baby and moved to Ottawa. And I was breastfeeding my kids, and I keep hearing people that had problems with breastfeeding. And as I didn't to stay at home for a couple of years, so I decided to volunteer as a breastfeeding coach because so I did that for a couple of years as well.
And you mentioned you were in the forces as well?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
As a dietitian,
as a dietitian, okay.
Nothing fancy.
not on the front line.
nothing too extraordinary. And because I was in the helping profession and did all kinds of things in the helping profession, I decided after a while to do my master in social work. And I keep saying that, well, shit doesn't work, the way they work, And I got interested in doing NLP and hypnosis and the psyche and EFT and all those 50,000 modalities I trained with in an effort to better help people. And it's through that I got in touch with Jamie Smart and referring to the 3 principles at one point. So it got me curious. And so that's where I did this blueprint, which was called Glasswing then. And from that, the CCT, the training, and then the mentorship training. After that, all the older teachers, like most people, going to training, trying to get the work. And that's the.
So when you came across the 3 principles understanding, did you find it helped you in any way? Did it change your life at all? Or?
There was no Hollywood moment. It was more a drip type thing, which I think is the vast majority of people. But it's in being in different situations that I say, oh, well, I see this differently. I never had problems with public speaking. I'm probably one of the 2 people in the world that's not problem with public speaking. It was never an issue for me. But meet and greet, hate that with a passion. Rather go to the dentist instead. And going to small groups, I find it a bit harder, but maybe going with the sense of maybe nobody will like me. And I went to a training, was a live training, an intensive, where it was a week long. And I noticed I didn't have that. So, oh, interesting. And so just little things like that, you're in little situation and you realize that um, you don't react the same way. Yeah, but the big no, it was just more drip, 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 and sing deeper each time you go to a training or you read a book or just talking really with people, and it helps to see deeper each time.
So do you still use hypnotherapy as well, alongside Three Principles?
Yes, because that's what I'm known for. I've been doing that for the 14 years. For COVID, I was booked 6 months in advance. So with COVID, it changed a little bit. But that's what I'm known for. But I do now offer, well, by the way, now there's this thing, and people still want the quick fix. They want to feel better for yesterday, because the kind of hypnosis that I do mostly is going to the cause, regression to cause. So people have a differently, and it does change their life. It does. Now people are just, and then and then they can see. Then you can introduce me concepts. So people still phone me for the quick fix, although more and more starting to have people that, oh yes, I prefer to go deeper, but they still want the quick fix first, and then and then going deeper. Because I could have people, I only do emotional problems and traumas. So people that haven't been sleeping because of PTSD, or have 7 or 8 panic attacks per day. So they want to feel better for yesterday. So sometimes with 3P, before they see the light, they might see the light in a second, but it might take 3 months before they see the light, and they want to feel better for yesterday. So I do combine both. So yeah, the 3P police can sue me, but yes, I still combine both. Get in calm, and then be more open to see.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. It seems to be, if you're dealing with people with PTSD, they're so probably sped up in the head anyway that they probably do need the hypnotherapy to calm them down, so that they're more open to seeing, understanding the Three Principles. So you say you deal with people with PTSD. Is that linked to when you were in the forces, or is it totally separate?
Well, totally separate. I see people, that have been in the forces. I see people that were policemen, or bad situations, at the wrong time, at the wrong place, or the way they were raised too. So some people didn't have the parents of the year, and cause PTSD because of the repetition of the trauma. So it's a mix of, because I'm trained also in different things. So yeah, so it could be anything, incest, whatever. So yeah. So I don't do stop smoking and those kind of things. That's not what I.
Interesting. You talk
for depression or anxiety, or trauma. That's the vast majority of the people I see.
Interesting you're talking about the stop smoking thing, because I came into Three Principles through the NLP route, in as much as I'd signed up for this Groupon. It was only a cheap Groupon course, NLP course. And then because it worked really well, I decided to sign up with the guy who's doing it full time, for his main course, by which time he'd gone across to Three Principles. But I did do some hypnotherapy on one of my colleagues at the time to help her stop smoking. What actually helped her stop smoking was when I said to her, and it was only in a WhatsApp message, it seems to me it's just habitual. And she said, oh, you're right. And she said it was because I said that to her, that's what made her give up smoking. So it had nothing to do with hypnotherapy. It's that I said that one thing and it resonated. And she's obviously must have seen it deeper to make her realize it was a habit, because she was smoking in the morning after her coffee, and then got to work, then she'd have a cigarette, and then she'd have a cigarette to have a break while she was at work, and she was just got into these habits of having cigarettes at certain times, and all she needed to do was break the habit.
Yeah, for people that smoke for less than 10 years, usually it's an habit. When it's more than 10 years, it becomes a friend. And there's the coping mechanism for the things. So you have to go. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, but I don't do that. So
I know you don't. You just made me, you went send my brain on a different track. So that was all.
It's funny how many people in the 3Ps went through hypnosis or any other modalities of health modalities. I mean, there's a lot of people that went through that route first.
I know. And with me, it was total accident. I actually thought I was buying this course, NLP course, and ended up being a 3Ps course. But I don't mind because, like they say, NLP and the 3 principles, it's basically doing the same thing. But I suppose the thing with NLP or hypnotherapy is it probably just gets you there a bit quicker because you're actually going to the subconscious, forcing it. Whereas with NLP, it's more of a natural, not NLP, sorry, 3 principles, it's more of a natural process. And
I prefer hypnosis over NLP personally. I think NLP is too technique driven in a sense, and not very client driven.
Yeah.
So I prefer.
Yeah.
So there are a few things that I like from NLP that I'll still carry on. I like the core transformation from the Andreases or the wholeness process. But yeah. But anyway, so this is a 3P conversation.
No, sorry.
we went sidetracked. Yeah. But yeah, I love the 3Ps. I like what attracted me to that is actually the spiritual side of the 3. That's what got me curious. Looking in that direction.
Can you think of any universal mind moments for yourself where something's happened and you can say that's because of a greater power, whether that's universal mind or God or the universe? Can you think of any examples in your own life?
I think there were synchronicities or coincidences that I think just helped me to bring me different places, different opportunities that slightly and quietly nudging me in the direction. And I think like getting in touch with Jimmy Smart, being somehow on his mailing list at one point, I don't know how, and I did that, and from that, that looks interesting, and but there was many time that different opportunities, different things that happened that just brought me at the right place at the right time. Something somewhere. No, I had traumas like most people. I mean, life is still a contact sport. But mostly I was at the right place at the right time.
You mentioned earlier, I can't remember whether it is as part of this call or before I hit record, but that you do volunteering with Heartfelt Presence. Can you talk about that a bit in case people are interested in how to?
I started with when Jan did her first group, when it was called, don't remember what it was called, but the previous incarnation of the Heartfelt Presence. I was doing 2 hours on that, an hour on Monday, an hour on Friday. And then it switched over for the Heartfelt Presence, I took about a month and a half off because I was busy with other things, and I couldn't do the 2 hours anymore. And then I came back, and I was doing an hour, and then somebody, because of different, I ended up to do 2 hours now in a row. And I thought it was fun to see people from all over the world, and to see how the three principles can impact people from everywhere. That people were open. Now, of course, they have to be open to sign in, I guess, to show up. And some people, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and no, they're still there. But I think it's a good thing that this thing exists, because I think a place to go, a place to be, people to speak with. So yeah, I think it's a good experience. So sometimes it's very busy, and it could be 7 or 8 people in the room, and sometimes there's maybe only one other person in the room, and everything in between. Everybody being open and so welcoming, I guess, for other people that shows up. Let's say there's many people in the room, and people will talk to each other, but in a good way, no, not in a judgy way. Yeah, so it's been a good experience.
I'm just thinking, when I put this onto YouTube, I'll include a link to your website, but I was thinking I could put a link to the Heartfelt Presence, because it's a free facility for people if they want someone to talk to for any reason. So.
And it's multilingual. Like, yes, the main room is usually in English.
Yeah.
But like, I speak French.
Yes.
So if somebody asks me a question in French, I will answer in French.
Yeah.
There are people from Sweden. So if from Denmark, and from all over, Dutch and all kinds, and so some people say, oh, well, if they say, oh, my English is not good enough, well, just look who's on, and maybe that person speak your language, and probably that person will switch into your even if it's for a few minutes. It's a multilingual 24-hour day.
I know you're a French speaker because you're French Canadian, and we were talking about it earlier, but is there a community of French speaking Three Principles people, just in case anybody who does speak French more than English is interested?
There's very few of us, I think, because of the language barrier. Like German and Dutch and Danish, they all speak English so well, so for them English is not a barrier. For the French-speaking world, somehow there's resistance to learn English, so I think the English is a barrier. So that might be one thing, and there's nothing translated in French so far. I do have permission from Jack Prensky to translate so much what I've told us in French. It's big and behavior. So it's not going to be ready next month, people. But so there's very few things that are translated. So that might be another barrier. I know 2 other ladies. There's one lady in near Montreal, Jasmine Desbiens. maybe some of your viewers know her, who's done Super Coach. So she works with the 3 principles. There's another lady apparently who did Super Coach years ago, and might be working with business with 3 Ps, but I'm not sure. And in France as well, I know there's a couple of people that were trained by Jamie Smart. But are they working with the 3 principles, or are they doing anything? Heard from them. I know there's a few French people who lived in the States. They immigrated to the States and they work in English with the 3 principles and not with the French community. But by and large, I think there's maybe 4 of us actually working with the 3 principles. Although once in a while, now there was one Michael Neal course, and there was this lady, French Canadian, French Ontarian, and she was on Michael Neal's course. I think was looking deeper or something like that. So looking in that direction. But people that are trying to in the coaching, not a big community, that's for sure.
I know you've got your own YouTube channel, and I've noticed some of the videos you put up in French as well.
Well, when I do my little vlogs or my daily musing, I put them in both languages. So if I say something in English, I will say the same thing in French. So those 2 I put out in both languages because my clients are in both languages. So those I do twice. So everything I do, I have to do twice, really.
You work twice as hard as everybody else.
So everything. So and sometimes you might switch, no, because maybe no, because you do things and then do one, and then a few minutes later you do the second one. Is something can might pop up in your mind the second time around. But by and large, about the same. But the message of hope interviews that I do with 3P people is just little interviews, 10 minutes interviews of how having this understanding helps people navigate stress or events or whatever shows up. And those are short little interviews, and those are only in English. Will be too expensive for me to put the French subtitle. I think it's $10 a minute. There's no way. I'm not doing that. And so those ones are only in English.
And I know in your bio you said how you've always wanted to help people. Do you know what that drive came from, to be of service to people?
It's a good question. And I'm not sure. Yes, my parents did some volunteer work, so I saw that. And I think I just thought that I was lucky in a sense. Like I said, I had my fair share, like most people, of shitty stuff. But by and large, I consider myself lucky. And may as well do something with that. Now let other people help other people and see there's another way of looking at things. Lord, no, suffering is optional, I guess. And but I'm not sure how it started. No. Or even a young age, like when you're in your grade school, no, what you want to be? No. And I thought, oh, maybe a doctor, but only with Doctors Without Borders.
All right.
Being a doctor in Canada had no appeal whatsoever. Boring. No. See your clients 10 minutes. Okay, next. It looks like boring myself. And but with Doctor Without Border, oh, that looks interesting. No, they actually do something really to help people. And yes, but I'm not sure. No, not sure how it started, but it was always something feel natural.
And becoming a doula, was that, how did you get into that?
Like I said, I always done volunteer work, even though now I always no, I did another alpine, two other alpines before the Heartfelt Presence, and being involved in 50,000 things. And that opportunity came up, and I said, "Oh, interesting," because again, for the French speaking thing, no, and people, I felt, oh, well, people are going to give birth alone. I thought, oh, that's no, maybe I can do something about that. And I took the doula training. In actually, the first person I helped is because she was totally bilingual, by the way. She was French speaking, but totally bilingual, but she was afraid that during the birth, her English will go out of the window. And I wanted somebody with her that she can still speak the language.
So is it like a birthing partner then, being a doula?
Yes, yes, but we also know little tricks and little things to help the birth going smoother and being more an advocate for the women as well.
And is it more in
Although
line?
each birth that I went to, the father was there.
Okay.
And that happened that way. Like this one, she wanted to make sure that her husband did spoke French. Was but he was more comfortable in English, and she just wanted somebody there. One couple, the guys knew it was going to be useless during the birth, um, and he was really, he was white as a sheet, no, in the corner, and no, like was he was way above his pay grade, and he knew no before, and there was the second child, and because of work, he had missed part of the birth of the first one, because by the time he flew and came back, and so that's why they wanted somebody else there. Same thing with the other person. Now they just wanted to have somebody to be their advocate and to do it more. Like I said, doulas are trained in different tricks of the trade as well to help the birth, and they wanted just somebody there.
Talking about the husband who isn't much help. In the UK, we've got a program called One Born Every Minute, where they show, I don't really watch it, but there's a famous clip from it where it shows people, it's a reality show in the birthing situation or about to give birth. And there's this scene where the mother is going through labor and is in a lot of pain and sort of trying to get herself comfortable. And her partner is just eating chips or French fries, just sitting there. And the only thing he says to her is, "Would you like a chip?"
How to get killed.
After she went through after she gave birth, I'm sure he did get killed. She wasn't in any position to kill him at the time, but it's like, oh, it actually went viral in the UK. It was shown a lot on television because it was just like, really?
Yeah, there was one mother like that. They were because it was like in the middle of the night and nothing is open, and there was just a vending machine. And I trying to get that. This was a bag of Doritos. I don't know if they're, yeah.
Yeah, you get
We have a
Doritos
strong
everywhere,
smell,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she wanted to kill him. No. Yeah, but those Doritos. Yeah, so but that's one thing that I've done. But like I said, I always been doing volunteer work with capacity.
Mhm. I think when I looked into doula initially, I thought it might be just you're just there for natural birthing things, but is it sort of something that goes alongside
No, it was in
medicine as
hospital.
well?
It was
It is in a hospital, yeah, yeah.
And when I learned hypnosis, I was trained also in childbirth. Not the hypnobirthing, I know that's the most known one, but one from Jerry Kind, from which Hypnobabies is based on. And I like that better because people, once they know how to put themselves in hypnosis and anesthetize themselves, now they can have after that now 3 suture and now freeze themselves. Once you know how to do it, you can do it for any kind of other things. So I had a few clients for painless childbirth. But here in Canada, it's like in the NHS now pays for people that want to learn that, but not here. So people is from out of pocket, so to speak.
So what's life like for you now then? I mean, obviously it's been a tough year, well, a couple of years for everybody with COVID. What are you doing now in the Three Principles world? Are you just taking on clients? Are you running any courses or anything like that? Yeah.
I do take clients. Like I said, I mix both. I mix both. So I do take clients. And I'm working on a couple of little things. I'm working on a forgiveness course. It's going to be an e-course where I'm going to talk about forgiveness and maybe at the end run a little process on forgiveness. One on self-esteem and self-confidence, because let's face it, there's another thing that is popular. People, one of the things that people on about, no, I need more self-confidence. I'm working on offerings. I'm working on little offerings like that. And also one, this one is not repeat the last one, but it's all to stop a panic attack in 2 minutes. You and I know that a panic attack is only 4 minutes, but for most people, they last half an hour or half a day. So I'm just doing a little e-course on panic attack in 2 minutes. And,
yeah. I was just going to say, is that all going to be available on your website? Because like I said, I'll put a link to your website on the YouTube recording. Unless there's anything else you can think of adding, shall we?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And hopefully they have now things are reopened enough to for all people to meet and have fun and
enjoy
mingle.
it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Martine.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's okay, no problem. Speak to you soon, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.